That research concluded that 85% of your success, your financial success, depends upon your ability to build, maintain, and leverage relationships. They call it human engineering, right? And this is a very important conversation that it'll be amazing if you get this right at this stage. See, this is what's going to happen. You're going to graduate and then you're going to either go into business or you're going to apply for a job. Now let's talk about the job scenario for a moment. If you go into a job, then for your first job that you're going to get into, your education, your certification is going to be extremely valuable. Where are you coming from? What's the experience? What have you studied? What have you done along with that? Everything's going to be valuable. Okay. Now, post your first job, your certification becomes less valuable and your competence become more and more important. How good you are at it, right? The certification, the graduation helps you helps you get at the right place. And from there, over the next first few years, you'll need to show how good you are at what you do. That's your competence, right? But after that, who you are and how you work with people is going to be one of the most valuable skills for you to create success. Let's talk about managerial roles, right? Who are you managing? Are you really managing projects or are you managing people? People, obviously, right? So it's extremely vital that once you are in a job, you know how to manage people around you, right? Let's talk about leadership roles. What are you leading? Are you leading projects or are you leading people? People, obviously. So the higher you want to go in your career, the more valuable will be your ability to build, maintain, and leverage relationships. Now, a lot of professionals make this mistake, a lot of working professionals make this mistake, that they end up giving too much importance to their competence. Am I saying competence is not important? Not at all. It's extremely important. Without competence, you don't even qualify to join the journey. So you've got to be competent, 100%, no doubt there. But once that is there, then the kind of person you are, the kind of relationships you build, how you handle difficult people, can you lead people, can you inspire people, will become one of the most important conversation for you to grow in the corporate hierarchy, right? Let's say you're getting into business, right? Getting new business. Networking is going to be extremely important. Hiring the right people, keeping them, retaining the right people is going to be extremely important. You building the kind of network that can support you is going to be extremely important, right? Businesses runs on relationships. In fact, I want to say this one line to you right now, and that is that after a point in time, everything runs on relationships. But here is the thing. The big conversation the big question we should be asking ourselves right now, you should be asking yourself right now, is that should you start caring about it once you get a job or once you start a business, or should you start caring about it now? Absolutely now. Right? This is not a skill. Networking is not a skill that we learn from birth. It is something, some people tend to be more intuitive with networking, yes. But a lot of us, somebody like me, had to learn this skill over a period of time by practicing. Now, the choice is this. You could start now, or you could start when you get into an opportunity, right? The sooner that you start, the better you become. Okay. Now, how do you network at this stage? What does at the level of an education networking even mean for you? Well, let's first understand the one simple fundamental around networking. I want you to take this one thing away, that success is always in the basics. You need to understand the basics first. If you don't understand the basics and you go to advanced techniques, the chances of those techniques working for you are slim, very slim. Okay. Now, what are the basics? The basic is this, that networking is your network working for you. Networking, right? Networking, right? You will be extremely successful in your life if you have people around you that value you, that people feel connected to you, and they want to add value into your life. That could be advice, that could be internship opportunities, that could be introductions for jobs, could be anything, right? So, how do you get started with networking today? Number one, start building long-term relationships. Stop ruling people out. I used to do that in my education days, that I would hang out with a certain group of people and I would reject the others. Right? I was like that. I was extremely judgmental. Right? Stop doing that. Make as many friends as you can and set an intention to build long-term relationships. Research done in the area of job world has identified that one of the best sources of getting new opportunities is your past colleagues, your past connections, your past contacts, the contacts you've had before, right? They're not the contacts that you have in your current organization, right? So the friends that you have today, the friendships, the relationships that you build today are the ones that are going to carry you ahead, right? You don't know that today because you haven't come to that bridge. You're not crossing that bridge right now. Okay. But one of the smartest things you can do is start building amazing relationships with everyone. Stop ruling people out, whether they are good in studies, whether they're not good in studies, whether you think they're good people or they're not good people. That's judgment. Okay. Stop that and build great relationships, at least good relationships, at least decent relationships with as many people as you can. Number one. Number two. Now, a lot of students tend to lose connections with their friends and acquaintances from their education journey the moment they get out of the institution, the moment they graduate. Right? You got to start getting ready for that now. Start building a strategic database where you start capturing the information about people. If you are on LinkedIn, fantastic. If not, get on now. Don't wait for a job to come. I got onto LinkedIn probably 7, 8 years of after being in a job, and I was that too. I was forced to go there, right? And today I realized that I could have done that a lot sooner, and I could have built a lot of relationships. I could have kept a lot of relationships alive with me to have carried them on with me. Okay, and it would have been a significant contribution in my life at that point in time. Okay, so fundamental. Networking is your network working for you. The idea to build a network is not just to get more business or to get an internship opportunity or to get a job opportunity. Here's the thing. Your network will have these opportunities, but why should they give it to you? If you are only going to connect with me when you need something, what does that tell me about you? If I'm going to connect with you only when I need something, what does that tell you about me as a person, right? Is that a promising prospect? Certainly not, right? So get the fundamentals right. Start building great relationships. Do not expect anything in return. See what value you can add. Now, value could be simple respect that we could give to people, right? Value could be staying in touch. Value could be helping someone with something. Right? A lot of people come into fear of no return when it comes to giving to people, when it comes to adding value in their life. Right? They start to think, why should I help this person? What's in it for me? Well, you don't know that today. And it's okay if you don't know that today. Right? Help someone today. Plant as many seeds of value creation as you can, and they will germinate, become a tree, and bloom one day, bear fruits for you. Right? One of the biggest mistakes that people make in the world of networking is that they start caring about networking when they need their network to work for them. But by then, they've lost out on a lot of connections. They've lost out a lot of contacts. The relationships have gone weaker, right? Today, I train and coach business owners, working professionals, directors of Fortune 5 organizations, right? And my job today is to help them undo these mistakes. You at the current stage have the opportunity not to make these mistakes at the first place. And that is a golden opportunity, right? Become the kind of person that people value. Now, that's where the game lies. Stay connected with people. Stop judging people. Stop blocking people. Stop wronging people. You're not perfect. You're never going to be. No one is. Right? They may have certain limitations, certain barriers. Something would be wrong in them, and something else would be wrong in you. Okay. So stop ruling people out. Build as many great relationships as possible. There's a reason that some of the most successful people in the world are always talking about building great relationships. There's a reason behind that. Now, uh, these are the people who have gotten to where they are based on their ability to do what they do, one, which is their competence, but also along with that, their ability to build great relationships, be that kind of person, which is their character. So the success is going to be a combination of what you do, your competence, and who you are, your character. Build the two things together, bring these two things together, lay foundation of great relationships, and understand, remember, 85% of your success, 85% of your success depends upon your ability to build, maintain, and leverage relationships. Now, understand that networking is not one activity. It is not about going to people, meeting them, and staying connected. It actually has three sub elements inside of it. That is skill, which is your ability to build relationships, right? Number two is system. What is the system you're using, right? The strategic database that I spoke about, where you capture the people that you're meeting, where you met them, right? What was your conversation? Use that to stay in touch with people. That's a system, right? And the third element is the strategy. Now, strategy is what you do. And some of the most people who struggle the most with networking are the people who, number one, start networking when they need their network to work for them without having laid the foundation of relationships, number one. And number two, these are the people who jump straight to the strategy, which means they want to go out. Now they want to go meet people. They've not built the right skill. They've not laid the foundation of the system. And they want to go just straight ahead and connect with people. That doesn't work. Don't do that. Don't become the kind of person who makes these mistakes for several years, loses out on a lot of amazing relationships because you don't know where someone is going to be tomorrow. You can't predict that, neither for yourself nor for someone else. So don't take the current reality of someone today and try and define their future potential. You can't do that for anyone, not for yourself, not for anyone else. Right? Make networking a priority. Now, many of you might think that you are introvert, you're hesitant, you're not comfortable in approaching people. You're not the kind of person who can talk. So, number one, get this, that there's no type of networking. Right? Now, introverts tend to look at extroverts and say, "Oh my God, I can't do that." Well, you're not supposed to. Right? What you're supposed to do is identify what kind of networking works for you. Are you more comfortable talking with people one to one? You may not be the kind of person who could go on a stage, speak, and charm everybody and build great relationships. That's okay. That may not be your strength, but that doesn't make it your limitation, right? If you're the kind of person who's comfortable, let's just say the word comfortable, at one-on-one relationships, make that your core strength. Master that ability to build those one-on-one relationships better than anyone else in the world. Some of the most successful people in the world out there are introverts, right? Narayan Murthy, Ratan Tata, Elon Musk, right? Many other, countless names that these people are introverts, which clearly means that if you are not the outgoing person and if you're the kind of person who doesn't have this gift of building amazing relationships where you go, that does not mean you're at a limitation. So break these mental barriers, these stories, that these prison cells that we have created, that you might have created for yourself right at this age, so that you don't have to do it tomorrow, right? And again, at the risk of repeating and boring you to death, 85% of your financial success depends upon your ability to build, maintain, and leverage relationships. Right? With that, guys, all the very best to your journey. Make networking a priority, and I hope and I look forward to crossing paths with you sometime ahead in life. Right? If you ever come across, do come and tell me that we met once at Facebook Live, and that'll be an amazing conversation to have. All right, guys, take care. God bless.